Welcome back to Kruse Control. It is Thursday, March 16th, 2023. Thank you so much for being here on Kruse Control, the home of entertainment news. I am your host, Brian Kruse. Thank you for being back here again. And joining me, as always, is my fellow co-host, Miss Sabrina Vittori. Sabrina, welcome back to the program. How are you doing tonight?
What happened to lovely co-hosts?
What did I say?
Fellow co-hosts.
I don't know. It just didn't come out that way today, I guess, you know?
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to have to fix my hair and makeup better next time. No, I'm just kidding.
It's been a day. So,
I'm
lovely
well,
co-host, Miss Sabrina Vittori.
Oh, thank you.
Sabrina, welcome back to the program. All the way from Florida on her Sunday, or our Thursday, if you will.
Yes.
One day away from St. Patty's Day.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. We're doing a very special St. Patty's Day drinking day tomorrow. That's kind of the goal, I guess. I'm going to try to get a green beer. We'll see what happens. But also joining us here tonight is Mr. Jake Slonecki. Jake, welcome back to the program. How you doing tonight, Jake?
Hi, good. How are you doing?
Doing good. How was your Thursday?
Thursday was good. Busy. It was busy today.
Nice.
And we had pancakes and eggs and bacon for dinner. So.
Oh, that's amazing.
So breakfast for dinner.
Yes.
I
haven't had breakfast for dinner in a long time.
It's a good idea to do every once in a while.
I had poached eggs for lunch, so I'm sort of there.
That's close. Yeah.
I made on my stove, by the way, here in the hotel, and I was like, I will make a perfect poached egg. I don't care, and I did. It was very exciting.
Good. Nice.
Yeah, that's a great little breakfast for dinner thing. You know, it's a very nice thing. Very tasty, if you will. Just as tasty as now it's time for some breaking news. All right, everybody, we're diving right in. The first thing I want to talk about is Ryan Seacrest. Just for a hot second here, Ryan Seacrest have announced his final show is going to be Friday, April 14th on Ryan and Kelly, or Kelly and Ryan, if you will. He's leaving because he's going back to American Idol. He's going to go do another season of American Idol. He's going to host it again here in Los Angeles. So he's out of New York. He's saying goodbye to Kelly. She's saying hello to my husband, and he's coming to be her co-host over there on the morning show. So now it's going to be Kelly and Ryan. Or Mark. Kelly and Mark. Like I said, Ryan again. Kelly and Mark. Kelly and Mark is coming now, everybody. So if you're a fan of the show, Kelly's going nowhere. Regis isn't coming back. Nope, no Regis. You got Mark. Something else that's coming back is Gary Oldman's Slow Horses. I don't know. Every time I read this title, I want to say Old Horses. I don't know why, but Slow Horses is coming back. And apparently, I miss this. They've already released the second season. It came out in December. So 2 seasons are out for this. Gary said they're doing 4 seasons. Friend of the show, Gary Oldman. Great guy. That's all I'm saying.
Love that guy.
Love that guy. He's such a super sweetheart. But they're beginning production very soon. Season 2 premiered, I said, December 2022. And he's saying that this new season is going to be a lot of the same. Like he's really enjoying this apparently. So let me go to Gary. I haven't watched this. I think I watched the first episode and it was a little slow. It is called Slow Horses, but it's a little slow. But it's about Jackson Lamb, who Gary plays, the leader of a group of British MI5 spy rejects who are pushed to the bureaucracy of spy life. Yeah, there it is. So that's the show. So he's still doing it. I gotta check it out because I'm surprised they got 2 seasons. They got 2 more coming. Gary's like, can't stop, won't stop. So more is coming of Slow Horses if you're a fan. And I'm gonna check it out. Apple TV Plus, everybody. Something else that's coming back is Sweet Tooth. Now, I saw this came out on Netflix. I never really checked it out. It seemed a little weird to me, but Sweet Tooth's coming back for a second season. The comic adaptation will drop on Thursday, April 27th. All 8 episodes at once, as Netflix likes to roll. So if you're a fan of this, after a 22-month hiatus, 22 months, everybody, it's coming back. Season 1 released June 2021. Yeah, that would be 22 months, if you will. So the log line for this is the new season. I'm going to bust into it. As a deadly new wave of the sick bear down, Gus and a band of fellow hybrids are held prisoner by General Abbott and the last men. Looking to consolidate power by finding a cure, Abbott uses the children as a fodder for experiments. And to protect his friends, Gus agrees to help in the experiments, beginning in a dark journey into the origins of his mother's role and the events leading up to the Great Crumble. So yeah, it's coming back. That Great Crumble. It's going to crumble on, if you will. We're going to keep moving because we got lots to talk about tonight. I want to make sure we have time for discussion pieces. Another thing that's been announced is We Live in Time. We Live in Time, and it's going to, I mean, there's not much about this right now, but We Live in Time was with Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield. They're going to be doing a movie together. They actually had that moment at the Oscars everybody was talking about because they had an award together. So everyone's like, oh, they look like a great couple. They'd be great on screen. Well, it's happening. It is happening. They're actually in negotiations. So it's not 100% locked down, but pretty certain it's going to happen. They've been announcing this right now. The deadline announced this today. So John Crowley is on board to direct. Nick Payne is penning the script, and Studio Canal is developing the script along with them, and they'll produce it with Sonny March. It's described as a funny, deeply moving, and immersive love story. It deals close to the close to home. They're saying so. They're planning to shoot later this year, and we'll see. We'll have you updated as it goes along, but it's happening. Florence Pugh, Andrew Garfield, Black Widow, and Spider-Man together. It's happening. What do you two think about this? I'm gonna go to my fellow host and guest star tonight. What are you excited about this? I think this is good to put Black Widow 2 and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man 2 together in a movie. What do you think, Sabrina?
I'm gonna be honest. Andrew my favorite Spider-Man, which I know is an unpopular choice, but he is. And I also love Florence Pugh. I think she's wildly talented. She is
Kate
very
Bishop.
confident as a human being. Yeah, Kate Bishop. I am very. Her Yelena Belova was fucking amazing, by the way. But I think that she is she's adorable and she's a great actress. And I think the two of them together will definitely make something special. And if they don't, it's probably because the script is shit. So hopefully they give them a good script and they will nail the shit out of it.
Jake is heavy in thought right now. Jake, what do you think about this? Are you contemplating about this movie or what? What's going on over there? I see this all over your face right now.
I'm so lost right now. This is great.
What? You lost? No.
Yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine. What do I think about what now?
Florence Pugh and Spider-Man together here. Andrew Garfield doing a movie. Are you excited about that at all?
Pugh?
The new Black Widow. He's not listening to me at all, everybody.
Yeah. What are you doing over there, buddy? Next
I heard
topic.
a thing. I was trying to find the topic so I'd be ready to talk to you about it.
You did a great job, Jake. You did a great job.
I nailed it.
Well, Jake isn't sold on this. Sabrina's excited about it.
I'm not sold on it one bit.
I think it could be good. They're both great actors. Of course, there's bullshit. We have no idea what this is really about. They're just saying it's a comedy. So we'll see. Something else that's coming out, though, too, there's not a lot of information about. But again, it's an interesting pairing. Goodrich is coming out. Goodrich is going to start filming next month, and it stars Mila Kunis and Michael Keaton. And it's Michael Keaton's return to comedy, everybody. So it's been a while since a straight-up comedy. So Amy Pascal, who did the Spider-Man movies, she's very involved with that, executive producing this, too, alongside Michael Keaton. I guess they're going to shoot next month. And the plot of this is, so it's set in contemporary L.A. during the holidays. And the film tells the story of an art dealer named Andy Goodrich, which is Michael Keaton, a man whose life is upended when his younger second wife leaves him and enters a 90-day rehab program while also threatening divorce. And Michael Keaton takes charge of their 9-year-old twins, thrusting him into the world of modern parenthood for which he is deeply unprepared. What's it called? Mom Man? What was that movie he did? The Mommy 2? What was it? Mr. Mom. Is this Mr. Mom 2? That's all I'm saying. It sounds like it. With his career falling on the wayside, he leans to the grown and pregnant daughter, Grace. Yeah, she's pregnant, which I guess is Mila Kunis, to help him with support.
Is his wife?
No, she's his older daughter.
Oh.
His pregnant daughter, Grace. He goes to her for support, and they revolve and rekindle their relationship because they never actually had one from the get-go. So, yeah, so Michael Keaton's going back to comedy. He's going to be with Mila Kunis. They're going to do this together. His daughter, dad, Mr. Mom 2, if you will. It sounds like Mr. Mom 2 in a way. So, Sabrina's face says she's not interested. Jake, what do you think? You ready for a Mr. Mom? It was not Mr. Mom, but it seems like it a little bit. You excited for this at all?
I don't know. It seems like an interesting dynamic to have those two people. I mean, I don't know if he could be her dad in real, like, doesn't, I don't know. It's not being
He's pretty
sold.
fucking old.
Well,
No, he's pretty fucking old. But she's not great. I don't know. I watched that movie she did with what's the guy you used to work with? Finn.
Whitrick?
Yeah, I saw the movie that they did together, and she was so off-putting. I couldn't even finish it. I had to turn it off. I was like, Jesus, Mila Kunis. But it was also not a comedy. She is good at comedy.
Hmm.
She was great in Ted. She was great in that '70s show. I don't really care for her in the new '70s show, but she was just a screaming
That
person.
the '90s show.
Yeah, whatever it is. Thank you. But I don't know. I watched that drama and I literally was like, did she just maybe hasn't acted in so long? She has no idea what the fuck is going on, or maybe it's just because it was a drama. But I used to really like her, but that movie was so not good. Like, it wasn't not the movie. She was so not good. Like, and even my mom, I was like, I tried to watch this movie like 3 times, and she was like, yeah, me too. That girl is terrible. And I was like, oh.
No, yeah, that's not a good sign.
My mom is the type of person, as am I, to like see something through. Like if I start something, I want to finish it. And I put it on like 15 times and I'm like, nope, just can't do it. I just can't do it. So, but it is a different genre. And I used to love her in comedy. So hopefully, I'm fingers crossed. Michael Keaton, we all know I love. So I guess I'll be hopeful, but I will not have any expectations if I do watch it.
I'm about him going back to comedy. I think it's going to be good. We'll see. It starts shooting next month. Here in LA, which is great. Bring some more work back to LA. It's always a great thing. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be a great thing or not. I never seen it, but Wicked, everybody. Wicked has been moving forward. They're doing 2 parts. We haven't talked about this, so I thought I'd have a moment to talk about Wicked. So Wicked's going to be coming out. They're doing a part 1 and a part 2. Now, it just came up in the news because they actually pulled part 1 and they're coming out earlier now. Originally, it was coming out for the holidays, December of 2024. So it's a long ways away, everybody. But now they pulled to November 27th, 2024. Closer to Thanksgiving. Get away from that holiday rush. Of course, you have like the Avatar movie coming out then. So maybe they're just trying to get like have a more open box office for themselves. So yeah, so it was December 25th initially. So that's coming out soon. It enables the film to take advantage of like the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. And part 2 is still scheduled for release December 25th, 2025. So wild. It's a long ways in the future. It really is. Starring Ariana Grande, which I'm like, Ariana Grande, I guess, she did the SNL thing. She's getting into acting. It's a little bit more, it's more for the singing, I would think, for one thing. And Sabrina, how you say her last name? Yes, there it is. Yes. So then Michelle Yeoh's also in it. Jeff Goldblum's in it. Jonathan Bailey.
He's going to be the wizard, dude.
Yeah. And Ethan Slater also.
Just read that, yeah.
Yeah, I think so in case you don't know what this is, it's a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, which examines how the green-skinned evil witch became the Wicked Witch of the West, as well as the sorceress Glenda's trajectory toward becoming known as the Good Witch. So it's just, it's their origin story. We're doing a backstory with the witches. And it became a huge hit on Broadway. It's a huge one, which I wanted to see it for a long time on stage, just haven't had a chance to see it. Sabrina, have you seen Wicked before? Are you excited about this? You think they can do a good job?
How I feel about musicals, dude. No, I haven't.
I know, but you think?
Wicked. I have no
but with this
desire
cast,
to see
does it make you excited?
No, I mean, I'll probably watch it like one day angrily, like because you have it on, like not because I want to. So yeah, no, I'm not excited. I mean, the cast seems great. I love Michelle Yeoh. I love Jeff Goldblum. Ariana Grande has a fantastic voice. I didn't know Cynthia Erivo sings, but like good for her. She's a tremendous actress. Like I'm not saying it's just not like musicals are not for me, especially on TV. Like I don't mind going on Broadway and seeing a musical or like going to Pantages in LA and seeing a musical. But like for me, a movie that is a musical, sorry about that, is very, I just don't love it. It's not my thing. So
Hopefully it's better than Into the Woods.
Because of myself. Oh, but pitch please with that. My dad came to visit me and was like, let's see this dumb movie. And I finally found it and put it on. And he was like, oh, I've already seen it. Thanks. And I was like, oh, thank you. God, I'm not. I literally went through 1.5 songs and I was like, I'm going to stab myself in the eye. Like, I can't.
Yeah. I mean, I saw it's a weird, Into the Woods is a weird musical. I saw it on, I was in Michigan State. I saw Into the Woods, but I never saw Wicked. But, Into the Woods musical track into a movie wasn't the best. It was okay. Hopefully this does well. Jake, have you seen Wicked before? Are you interested in this at all? Or is it kind of like meh?
I'm kind of interested in it, yeah. I like origin stories when they come up because, I don't know, it's just a new take on something. I've never seen the musical, though. And I'm kind of with Sabrina. Like, Broadway is the place for musicals. I don't know. When they're adapted to film, it's just... could take it or leave it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But the music hopefully will shine through. Sometimes it can be cinematic, though.
Yeah, I mean, if it's done tastefully and not like, I don't know. It's just sometimes it's just too much.
Doesn't it almost seem like, because The Wizard of Oz was a huge movie itself, so this almost seems like it would be natural to be a movie, don't you think?
I think a movie, yeah. It's not. So are they going to adapt? It's not going to be a musical?
It is going to be a musical, though.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
but the musical on Broadway is like one of the longest running shows on Broadway. It's been going forever. Like it opened with Kristen Chenoweth, right? Was the Good Witch when it first opened, and so like although it's I mean it's the opposite way. Like they're adapting it from the stage to a film. Like and Wizard of Oz, like I mean, I liked Wizard of Oz because I was, a baby. Like, you're like, people are skipping around on a yellow brick road and like scarecrows talk. Like, what kid isn't like, oh, that's cool? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like as an adult, like I mean, I don't know. It just seems weird. But that's like that was a musical made for television, not made for stage. I feel like there's a big difference personally. Like when you put 42nd Street onto film or Rent onto film, or you know what I mean? It's almost never remotely as good. Not almost, like it's never as good ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's. I just feel like when you adapt from stage to film, it rarely matches the expectation.
Yeah.
Well, the hope is though that with this cast, hopefully they can find a way to make it transition to actual movie, that it's good. It has some good heart to it. It brings out the emotion. The music works. It's not just feeling like a cheap cop out. They're doing it in 2 parts too, which means they're really bringing this like huge. It's gonna be a huge production. I think I don't even understand making it 2 parts. But we'll see. Hopefully it's good. And of course, it's too early to know anything else beyond like it being announced, the dates being set. I'm excited to see how it goes. I always like musicals myself, so hopefully it's good, Wicked. Come on, bring some good shit to us. We need good adaptations of plays and musicals, so Sabrina will like musicals. Come on, you can do it.
Good luck. Challenge accepted.
Right.
Something we probably don't need, though, I'm going to say right now, is, some, let's do with Sesame Street, everybody. We probably don't need, I know, you're saying that right now. So this came out in the news today that based off Sesame Street, what are we getting? We're getting some NFTs. That's right. Sesame Street NFTs are coming out. Now, I'm like, first of all, I don't even get NFTs. Like, I understand they're like a digital media. Like, I have this little image on my computer now that I paid like how much for. It's non-fungible tokens. Okay, great. But anyways, they're going to release a Cookie Monster digital token first. There'll be $60 each. They're going to release 5,555 Cookie Monsters. So get them while they're hot. They're starting March 19th via VV Digital Collectibles app. So that's where you can get them at. They're going to be, they're putting them out there. You get that verified ownership of digital content. And it's going to kick off it's going to kick off the Sesame Street thing. So it'll be the first one, and then it'll probably go from there and go crazy. The official announcement says, collaborating with Vivi for Sesame Street, this first collection of digital collectibles is a great way to celebrate enduring legacy and give our longtime fans a new way to showcase their love for Sesame Street and its characters. All right. Next we'll get the tickle. Next will be the Tickle Me Elmo one, right? Tickle me NFT. That'll be called
Tickle Me Tokens.
Tickle me tokens. Give me that Tickle Me token coming out.
That's actually very clever, Jake.
It's not a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the thing is, again, we're talking about digital stuff. We're talking about digital currency, tradable cards. Do kids need this? Do we need to do this with Sesame Street? Do kids even watch Sesame Street anymore? That's the other thing. But do we even need this? Like, I don't know. To me, it's like going too far. I just hear about NFTs and I'm just like, why as it is? Jake, what do you think? You think this is a good thing? Are you excited? Would you get your Cookie Monster on? Or are you like, guys, just stop?
Just stop. Straight up. That's it. That's all. Yeah. I don't know.
That's all.
I think, yeah. I don't know. It's one of those. NFTs are strange, and there has to be a belief system behind it. So I imagine if there's enough people out there who think there's value in this, they can all be weird and get their Cookie Monster on if they want. Or if I had to choose, I would be Grover. Maybe I would get Grover. Just because he's cranky, like he's like the grouchy one, and it made me laugh all the time.
How about Oscar the Grouch? If you want to talk cranky.
Is Oscar the Grouch or is it Grover? Or is Grover
Oscar
the blue one?
Grouch.
Oscar the Grouch,
Grover's
yeah.
the blue one.
Okay, no,
Well,
I like Grouch then. The trash can guy.
That's Oscar.
That's Oscar.
Oscar then. Yeah, not Grover.
If I were going to buy one, give me a Snuffleupagus. That's all I'm saying. Hey,
Oh,
big
Fraggle.
I used to love Snuffleupagus.
Fraggle
give me
Rock
some.
would be cool.
Yeah.
I love Fraggle Rock.
But the whole thing about these things is like you just take a screenshot of this shit. Like, why don't I pay for it? You know what I mean? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, people will just. I mean, then again, probably people would think that my Pogs back in the day didn't make sense, you know, and my Slammers, you know,
Pogs,
people probably
Pogs. I thought Pogs
they
when you
still
were
don't make
telling me that
sense.
story.
I know, but I'm just saying people probably say the same thing about that. So this just might be one of those things that we laugh about 20 years from now, you know. Sabrina, what about you? Did you get your Cookie Monster on or what? What are you thinking?
No, obviously not. That's ridiculous and absurd to even ask. You could see my face the whole time. Like, we all know that Sabrina's not into this, okay? First of all, I'm not into NFTs, period. I think it's super dumb. I don't know why you're paying all this money for like some image that's going to like sit in your computer. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And like, how are like children, like if you bought it for your kid, what are your kid going to be like, oh, can you just pull up my Cookie Monster NFT so I could stare at it for a few minutes?
I know.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, kids should be doing things that are interactive, which is what Sesame Street was. Like, they count, they do all of these things that are interactive. So for you to stare at an NFT of Cookie Monster, like as a Sesame Street fan child, I think it's really fucking weird. As an adult, like if you love Sesame Street so much that you want to have this in your hard drive for whatever reason, I guess go for it. And if the money is going to benefit, you know, the nonprofit situation of making the show better and helping the kids, I guess I'm not upset about that for sure. But I just think it's really fucking weird and nobody wants it. Like, I don't know who what the market is. I'm sure as soon as they release them, they'll sell out in 5 minutes. So I'll be 100% wrong. But I just don't get it. I don't get it at all.
And maybe parents that were big fans of Sesame Street growing up would be buying them up. You know, Cookie Monster was very popular.
Why?
It's the first one they're releasing. People like it. I don't know. People like when people have weird things in their phones. You know, it's 2023. I just don't get it. I mean, I don't get it. But then again, maybe I'm too old for this shit.
Is it just a picture? It's like you're just allowed to have the
picture.
picture.
It's a picture.
It's just
a picture.
A picture, an image.
Yep. And you get a little certificate saying
it's computer art.
Yeah, it's computer art. Yeah.
Basically.
Huh.
Yeah.
They call them tokens, but you know.
Yeah. I know. It's just
so weird.
I don't know. For me, I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But Cookie Monster's coming. Munch, munch, munch. So if you want that cookie, you better get that cookie on. I don't.
You're making it real weird right now.
I got to bring the weird in, just like Monk brings the weird in. I'm gonna bring the weird in. Monk is coming back, everybody. Monk is coming back.
Segue.
I read this and I was like, hell yeah. Now for a movie, but I'm still down for it. Peacock is like, let's bring back some Monk. Let's get Tony Shalhoub in here to kick some ass and wash his hands 50 times. I'm down for it, you know? Get those wet wipes back out, everybody, because Monk is coming back. So Peacock is going to have this. They're bringing all the original cast back, which I think is huge. The original cast members are all signed back on. Stottlemeyer's coming. Trudy's coming. You got, I mean, everybody's coming back here. So Taylor Howard, Jason Gray Stanford. You got Ted Levine. I mean, everybody's coming back here. But they did 125 episodes in the first run of the series. In 2002, it ran till, which is nuts. 8 seasons. Primetime Emmy Awards, 2-time SAG Awards, won 8 Primetime Emmy Awards. I mean, huge. Tony Shalhoub was kicking asses. It was a huge character for USA. And you know what? I didn't watch till afterwards when it was off the air, but I love it, man. I love it. I fell into it later. I binge watched the whole thing straight through. Is it amazing television? No. Is it fun though? Yeah. I mean, it's very, episode of the week. He has a new case. Monk's to get in there, walk around, do this.
He is such a character, dude.
But
it's so fun to watch.
Kills it. He kills it. So they're saying for this, though, for the Peacock movie, in the follow-up movie, Monk, a brilliant San Francisco-based detective, will return to solve one last case, a very personal case involving his beloved stepdaughter, Molly, a journalist preparing for her wedding. Everybody's coming back for it. So for me, I'm like, I'm all about this. Bring on some Monk. Let's do it now. Sabrina, you hear about this. I know I got you kind of into Monk a little bit. So are you excited to see Monk coming back for Tony Shalhoub to be one more time getting into the case and washing his hands or what?
Normally, I would like to punch this in the face, but in this specific instance only, I'm super into it and I can't wait to see it. Honestly, I love his character. I love Monk, the character of Monk. I love both of his assistants. I love Salmeyer, which is Ted Levine in real life. I've worked with him. He's an amazing person. He used to call me Beanpole. Love the guy. I just am, I'm actually giddy about it, and I'm absolutely going to watch it. And I hope it lives up to the series because it's some of the most lighthearted and fun, like quirky television that you could ever watch.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, honestly, it's like it's just the characters. The characters shine through so much, and that's what it is. And
And
they
their
really,
relationships with each other are so great,
yeah, they really
It's
are.
just, it's amazing. I'm excited.
And they did this whole thing during quarantine where it was like they Peacock did this before, where they had Monk in quarantine, and you can see that on Peacock actually, where he's like
Very
double
funny.
washing his dishes and stuff, and he's like spraying because of COVID and stuff. It was like Monk was losing his shit because he's already germaphobe, and now COVID was out there. It was pretty good. Jake, have you ever watched Monk before? And are you excited about this, or what do you think about this? You've never seen Monk at all? You probably come on,
No,
not once on USA. Ah, well, thank you.
I haven't watched it, no. But I never even read. I didn't even know what the premise was. I just knew it was Monk, right? And I heard a lot of people talking about it, but I never really got into even any of it. So now that you're talking about it, and I understand like the OCD part, it's interesting. So
yeah, it's like he goes to a crime scene and he starts like rearranging stuff. Like, Monk, don't do that. But he's like, but it's uneven, and he's trying to fix shit in the crime scene.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it sounds cool. But I haven't seen it, so I couldn't really tell you.
It's funny,
Right.
but it's worth watching his performance alone, and then everyone else how they kind of
so
like
good.
they want to strangle him a lot of times. You know, they want to. Like, a lot of them are like Monk.
There's a lot
Monk.
of like,
But he's like the best detective. Because I mean, the premise really is like he was like the best detective as it was. His wife dies, and he kind of goes catatonic in a way. I mean, and then she was murdered, like brutally murdered, like a car bomb. And then he can never solve her case. But he solves but then he can solve any case, but he can't solve his wife's case. And they eventually get him out of his home. But after she dies, he kind of goes into this new kind of persona, and he can't break it.
After she died?
Yeah.
Like he got fired, and then they always like are trying to like get him back on the force, and like it's like this whole like they're straddling the line of getting him back on the force like the whole rest of the time because they're like, we need your help to solve this case, and he keeps solving cases, so like keeping like, let's let him back on the force, and like, but it doesn't really happen. Like that's like the tension, which on a lot of shows it's like there's like a love tension. That was the tension on Monk, which was very interesting. It was like, is he going to get back on the force or not? You know?
Yeah. And there's also the whole thing, I guess the ever-flowing storyline about him trying to solve his wife Trudy's case.
Right.
And they get little breadcrumbs throughout every, that's the one tying factor because it is very episodic. But that's another between him trying to become a cop again and then trying to solve that case. And he thinks if he solves that case, it'll cure him kind of in a way, So that kind of spreads out through the 8 seasons.
Do you think the movie is gonna touch on that? And
sure, of course.
Do you think it'll be a tragedy, or do you think it'll be?
I hope it's redemption.
A happy ending, like a redemptive.
I hope it was because the ending of the show was actually pretty good, and he did get some kind of closure at the end of the show. So I mean, the way they ended, I was like, okay. I mean, I could see this being it, But I just love the characters so much that I'm hoping that there's a reason that they're doing it. And they said that. Like it's the same creators from the TV show, executive producers, the same writers. Everybody's coming on board that know and love the characters. Like I said, the cast is the same cast, so they must have. They have
probably get a really good reception, like from the COVID stuff.
I think so.
Like, there's an audience here, which is smart. Good for them.
And then apparently that Tony Shalhoub loved the script. Apparently they're all happy with it. That's why they came back. So it's gonna be fun. And the stepdaughter thing is something that he found out later that he had at the very end of the show. And so now they'll be able to branch into that relationship a little bit too, because they really didn't have a lot of time to touch on that in the actual series. So yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. I love it. I mean, again, it's one of those shows you just put on the background while you're doing anything and then like watch it and not have to always be so invested in. And you'll laugh.
But then you gotta pop in and rewind and be like, wait a minute, what just happened?
Yeah, because there is stuff that like that trickles in. You're like, wait a second, what? I'll keep watching this,
It's so good.
Nice.
But Monk is coming back, everybody. Give us some more Monk. I'm excited about this. Something that Sabrina might be excited about or not excited about, maybe upset about, is Quentin Tarantino is announcing his last movie. Well, they're saying this is probably going to be his last movie because he said he was doing 10 movies and then he was done directing. So the 10th one's been announced. It's called The Movie Critic. The Movie Critic. And it takes place in the 1970s. So it follows a detective in the 1970s, and that's all they really know about it so far. So it's very vague, you know. Now the thing is, though, it's a female film critic in the 1970s. Actually, my apologies. So yeah, so they're gonna be doing that. That's the thing. But he's also talked about writing a 10-episode TV show he wants to do. He also talked about doing this backstory movie about Cliff Booth, who was Leonardo DiCaprio's character from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And so he was talking about doing that too. But this is what he's saying he's doing next. So will that be his last movie or will it not be his last movie? That's the question. I don't know. He's penned the script. He's directing it though. There's no studio attached yet. But I mean, if all signs point to this is number 10, then this is his last movie, right? What do you think, Sabrina? Do you think this is it? Or do you think that he will shift gears and do more stuff because he's got that itch?
Well, he's already done 10 movies, but he, for some reason, counts Kill Bill 1 and 2 as the same movie instead of two movies. So I guess this would actually be 11 movies, but I see where you're going, bud. It upsets me immensely because I love his work. I love him. I mean, some movies I like more than others, obviously. This Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was awesome. Pulp Fiction is still and will always be in my top 5 favorite movies of all time, if not number 1 for me. Honestly, I love Pulp Fiction. When it came out, I'm obsessed with it. There are so many I watched it so many times. The way that it's cut out of order and it makes you think and it makes you wonder and there are just so many things going on that I love as a moviegoer. Sometimes, I just want to watch something that's hilarious and pointless, like Step Brothers, you know what I mean? But I really like to engage my brain when I watch a good movie, and Pulp Fiction was Memento, went backwards, you know what I mean? It's something that you really have to focus on and really pay attention and see what's going on, and I really appreciate that. Reservoir Dogs, amazing movie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and Kill Bill, the first one when I saw it, all the gratuity with the, old school karate Japanese style with them cutting limbs off and the blood spraying and all this shit. I was this is kind of weird for him, but I was oddly into it. And the story was so good. His writing is so good. His characters are always so dialogue heavy, which I fucking love because they're all brilliant. And most of the time they're strong fucking women, which I really, really, really love. A lot of people don't glorify women the way he do as smart, strong, independent, ass kicking bitches. So I love that about him. And also even in Death Proof, which a lot of people don't love, that's one of my favorite movies that he did. That was part of Grindhouse, which we actually touched on Grindhouse yesterday a little bit. I Stuntman Mike, man. Stuntman Mike. I love him, and I think he has so much to offer the world. And if this is his last movie, I'm super upset. Also, if you're watching, please cast me because my lifelong dream has been to work with you as a director. So I will just be a girl in the store that says, yes.
Jake's writing it down. Jake's taking notes.
It's called Tarantino. The Movie Critic. It's Quentin Tarantino's last movie.
The Movie Critic, yeah.
Literally, my lifelong dream as a human being or an actress is to work with you as a director. I could literally just one line, thank you, sir. Or I'd PA for you. I don't care. I just want to work with you. You're literally my inspiration for film. Everything ever, everything everywhere all at once. It's you, Quentin Tarantino. So I'm super, super sad if this is your last movie. I hope it's not. I hope you get the itch and come back. And if it is, please find some space for me on your set. I don't care what it is. I'll shine shoes. I don't care. Please.
Well, that's the whole thing. The fact that he said he's doing 10 and then he has these other announcements like this 10-episode TV show, but he might not even direct that. He might just write that and pass it on and be executive producer. That happens a lot. And the DiCaprio thing too is people are talking about that, but that's also something he thought it'd be fun to do, He thought it'd be fun to do Cliff, bring up his story and get back into it. So work with DiCaprio. He had a fun time with that character. The flamethrower thing was awesome in that movie.
Oh, so cool.
So good. But I don't know. Jake, what do you think? You think all signs point to this is his last movie, or do you think that he won't stop?
I don't know. I mean, he might stop going so hard you know. But I don't know if he'll stop.
Maybe take some time off.
We talked
maybe
about that before. Like, yo, I'm done after this. I'm gonna retire. Like, that would be pretty lame. If anybody's gonna actually retire and be done, it'll be him. Like, actually sticking to what he says, which would really suck. Like,
I can see that too.
Mention, you know, like he's the one who's like, no, I'm really done. Like, screw you guys. I'm actually
like,
done.
that's it.
You know, yeah. So I don't know. He's had a good enough career, and there's enough stuff out there for us all to see. It's gonna be sad to not see more of what's going on inside of his head. So, I don't know.
That dialogue-driven scripts that he writes all the time.
It's just
and
it's the bantering between characters and the like aggressiveness that they hold is unbelievable. So
and the badassness.
Yeah.
Super badassness.
Everybody is. It's just like Clash of the Titans in every single movie. So
you know what? If he stops. Like, what's Sam Jackson going to do? That's all I'm saying. You know, Sam Jackson's not going to have any movies anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, him alone would probably be like, he'll call him Tarantino, like, man, you can't stop.
Right? He might try. Yeah.
I can't be doing Snakes in the Plane the rest of my career. Come on, man. I need that gritty kind of character you always give me. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I honestly don't believe he's done. I mean, I feel like this 10 movies, 10 directing things he put back out how long ago now, you know? So I think, you know, the older you get, maybe the more he's like having fun with it, and he has all these ideas in his head still. Maybe the 10 movies will be like you're saying, it'll be like the pressure will be off him doing more, and he can just sit back and take more time and digest stuff, and then eventually do something later on, you know?
I just want to be clear with the fact very quickly. Samuel L. Jackson has been in 100 movies.
I know. That was a joke.
Literally, he has probably been in more movies than any other actor on the planet. So, and it was a funny joke, but I just want to be clear. Samuel L. Jackson be working. Period. Okay.
Get these motherfucking snakes off this motherfucking plane.
He doesn't need Quentin Tarantino's 10 films. Like that's not his be all.
Some of his best.
He hasn't even been in all 10, but
he's so good in them.
Oh,
some of his best.
Dude, Jules in Pulp Fiction. I will never, as long as it's one of my favorite characters. One of my favorite characters ever written, ever penned. Like he's just the way he develops characters and creates characters and puts them in this world of chaos. Like, you feel for every single one of them. You feel for the murderer. You feel for the drug addict. You feel for the killer. You feel for every single person. And that's really hard to do, if you ask me. And I just like, even the way he handled that last scene in Pulp Fiction, when Amanda Plummer is like on the freaking table in the diner, and she's like, I'll kill every last motherfucking one, which is the way the movie starts, but also kind of at the end we see what happens there.
It comes around.
Like, tell her bitch be cool. Like he has such a way of like tying everything up the proper way so that there aren't a million fucking questions, and you are invested in all of the characters, and that's like really, in my opinion, hard to do. I don't want it to go away.
And again, it shows like his directing skills. Like, it always looks good. He always has some interesting angles he shoots with, which a lot of directors have a hard time like doing the directing and actually the cinematography stuff. But he has a combination of both. And you know his style. I just think of like in Death Proof, that one scene where they're sitting at the table and it's going around. The camera keeps going around and around and around the whole table, like for one whole scene. It's like 4 or 5 minutes, like a 5-minute scene. And it's so, like, the dialogue is so Tarantino, and the way it moves is so Tarantino. It's good. I went and saw that in the theater with one of my buddies, and he doesn't like Tarantino. We went and saw Death Proof, and we went to see the Grindhouse, the whole thing. He wanted to see the Rodriguez one. I'm like, I want to see both of them. He went to the bathroom because he's like, oh, one of those Tarantino shots. He leaves, and he comes back, and he's like, it's still happening. I'm like, sit down. Wow. It's great. Sit down. It's great. Right. Give the man a fucking break.
I love him.
Tarantino, don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Have you heard that? Don't stop.
He could redo Mad Max Fury Road. I'd be happy if he redid that.
That'd be cool. Maybe he needs to go into that world. Why doesn't he direct something like a fucking Star Wars movie or something too?
I don't think
How
he's
cool.
Gonna do that.
He was supposed to do Star Trek. And I was like, I'm fucking down to see Sam Jackson be a Klingon.
Right.
I was like, please.
He is such a creative person. I feel like it would be very hard for him to direct somebody else's work. Like, I feel like he is so tied to his his stuff. Like, and I think that's why it's so beautiful, and that's why it's so good, and that's why it's so connected, because he's connected to the material. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He can work for Disney. Well, he hasn't worked for Disney yet, has he? He can do a Star Wars thing. He can do, I don't know, a Marvel movie maybe. That'd be interesting. I don't know. Disney has like
I'm
a
gonna
big
hard pass on everything you're saying right now. That is so not Quentin Tarantino, dude. Do you
I know,
who
but
this guy
it'd be
is? Like, what is
rated R
happening?
Disney movie. Rated R Disney movie, because it might be better than a lot of stuff they've done. You never know. The different take on stuff, you know?
Yeah,
and speaking of a different
some
take,
of their stuff 20 years ago would be rated R now, or would be then.
Well, yeah, it would be. Some of their stuff they took off Disney Plus, or they put content warnings on it because there's either smoking or racist shit in there. You know what I mean? And they have content settings say like, this is kind of racist, but here you go.
Yeah.
You know? But we did it back then, so.
Yeah.
You know, and they've changed ways they do things. They've evolved. They've updated things, just like they updated The Little Mermaid. So Little Mermaid is coming out, everybody. It's coming out in May, and the official trailer just came out May 26, 2023. I want to talk about this. It came out over the Oscars. Of course, they had a segment that was like brought to you by The Little Mermaid, and then they played the trailer during the Oscars. But Rob Marshall directed this. And it's going to be a totally different experience. You know, they're saying, I watched the trailer. I just want to talk about the trailer. We've all watched it here. So I just want to have a little conversation about it. Of course, they've it's a whole different cast. It's live action. I think that, I'm going to tell you, I think that shipwreck crash in the beginning, they did a great job, I think, with that. It really made it realistic. And I think it looked like Prince Eric goes in the water and then Ariel has to save him. I think that was really cool. Prince Eric, right? Prince Eric. Prince fucking Eric. You know, he fell in the water. Hi, Mark, save me, you know? And so he falls in the water.
Hi, Mark.
And she's like, I've got you. And she saves him and they kiss. They don't kiss right then, but you know what I'm talking about. There's that sexual tension. But yeah, so I saw this and I thought they did a good job. I really say Melissa McCarthy looks good as Ursula. I was very surprised at that because I wasn't really sure. You didn't really see much, and Ursula is so iconic. And so I was like, oh shit, she sounded like her. She sang like her. Like her voice had that laugh, that cackle. I'll tell you the one thing though, out of all this conversation, this whole trailer, I have no problem with this. I'm like, I'll watch this. It looks good. Visually, it looks awesome. Javier Bardem as King Titan. I'm still kind of like, I kind of laugh about that. Just as I think of him from the Pirates movies, like, Jack Sparrow. I'm going to spit when I did that. So I'm like, how's he going to be? I think he's a great actor, but I just think sometimes they put him in some roles. I'm like, how'd you get this role, man? But good for you, you know? So you
could actually understand him in this trailer, which I gave him two very enthusiastic. That was like, yes, we can hear him. Thank you, sweet baby Jesus.
Like gargling with the
right.
Yeah, I have no problem with him. The only thing I have a problem with this trailer, I'm gonna tell you, the one thing I have a problem with this trailer is Sebastian. I'm gonna say that right now. He's too real. He's too fucking real. I see Sebastian. I'm like, I want to take his legs off and eat them. And that's horrible. You know what I mean? I want some crab legs right now. He's too real. I mean,
C is for crab. Crabby is for C.
And I think honestly, I think the voice is great. You know, Dahi Diggs. I think he's great. Dahi Diggs. He's great. He's great as that voice. It makes sense. You know, if they couldn't get Shaggy,
From Hamilton, by the way.
Give him the role.
They couldn't get Shaggy. How dare you, Brian? That is insulting to Dahi Diggs. Okay, please and thank you.
I still think that, you know, for Scuttle. Okay, I like Awkwafina a lot. I do. I like her a lot. Will Ferrell should have been cast in that role of Scuttle. Will Ferrell would have been fucking great. Can you imagine Will Ferrell cracking jokes? It would have been fun. It would have been fun. That's all I'm saying.
It really would have.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just like, the whole Sebastian thing threw me off when I saw it. So what do you want to do with my legs? Eat that shit. Or eat that shit.
Yeah, eat them. Boil them up.
Yeah, Seabass. Welcome to Kruse Control, Seabass. Yeah. Sabrina, you saw this trailer. What do you think about this? Are you excited about it? Does it make you amped up for it? Or are you kind of like, well, why are we doing this?
I've kind of been against the whole live action Disney situation, because Aladdin was terrible in my opinion. Like I have said before, they added a best friend that didn't exist. Like there's just it just wasn't, the casting was weird to me. Like the fact that the Sultan was tall and skinny and that, you know, Jafar was short, and like, I just couldn't get, I don't know. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite Disney movies, like that I grew up with. And I was super bummed about it. Lion King. Also, one of my favorite Disney movies. I saw it, and this is embarrassing to admit out loud on a podcast where people can hear me. I saw that 17 times in the theater, and I was in high school. I was like a junior in high school or something. It wasn't like I was 5. I was an adult and paying for my own movie tickets, and I saw The Lion King 17 times in theaters. So I was also very disappointed with that.
That's a commitment.
So these are like, and it's weird. Like, these are my 3 favorite Disney movies: Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and Lion King. So now I'm like, now you're going to destroy Little Mermaid for me. And it's very upsetting. But honestly, now that I've seen this trailer, Melissa McCarthy sounded just like Ursula with that cackle, which I was super happy about. Javier Bardem is understandable. So I'm jazzed about that. Daveed Diggs was great as Sebastian in his like one little word. I'm absolutely going to watch it. I hope for the best. Unfortunately, I kind of expect the worst, but I hope for the best, and I'm hopeful. Which
Ariel looks great too. She sounds just like the original. I mean, her voice, like her singing voice, is amazing.
Voice is amazing.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think the two of them have chemistry too. So I don't know. I think it could be good. I think they spent enough time on it. I think like 3 years or some shit. It's been a long time. Like they started shooting before COVID.
I wasn't worried about her. That's why I didn't mention her. Like, she's wildly talented, has a great voice. I was worried about Javier Bardem. I was not worried about Daveed Diggs either, but I was glad to hear him speak as Sebastian. Like, that was great. Like,
they didn't show Flounder.
I'm behind that. No, they did. You did hear his voice though in the beginning of the trailer.
No, they should have shown Flounder though. Give me a little Flounder.
They did show Flounder. She went like this, and he like blew up, and she laughed. Like, I think
is that supposed to be Flounder? Maybe.
No, that's a blowfish.
No, that's a blowfish. Yeah, I mean,
blowfish.
I was gonna say,
Flounder. But you did.
It didn't look like Flounder. Like I said before, Sebastian doesn't look like Sebastian.
I'm gonna guess the Flounder looks like a real flounder, so don't get too excited about it.
I think we need to, like they did with Sonic the Hedgehog, we need to get back in this shit and change these characters, make them a little bit more animated. That's all I'm saying. Jake, you saw this, right? What do you think about the Little Mermaid trailer? Does it make you excited about it? Does it seem like it's going to be good to you? Or do you think it's going to be, not like Sabrina was saying, like Aladdin, where you're like, ah, shit, more lobsters?
I don't know. It's interesting. I wonder if they're going to be like really, really close to the original cartoon script, or if they're going to pull in some of the original story, because the original story is from like 1803 or something. Like, it's really old, and it's more about the contemplation of like life and death and what happens after. It's a fairy tale from a long time ago, and the Little Mermaid is curious about humans because she doesn't want to turn into sea foam after she dies.
I never heard of this.
It's Danish.
Jake's doing a deep dive.
No, it's like an old Danish fairy tale. It's really, really bizarre. So I wonder if they're going to keep it light and cartoonish, or if they're going to delve more into the deeper, darker. Don't go in the woods.
They're keeping it light and cartoonish.
Yeah. I feel like they're going to keep it light. I mean, they even had the fireworks at the end, like in the cartoon too. You know, the fireworks display and stuff. So I feel the big Triton going down. You know what I mean? The big Poseidon's Triton shit. That shit's in there. So I'm guessing it's going to be very similar to the cartoon. I would think.
Probably. Yeah.
They have to do some variations, and it seems like there's some of the dialogue too. They had that one scene where he's like, "But you lived out in the sea," and she's like, "But Dad, you know, we're the same kind of people," you know. So it seems like they're gonna have a little bit of extra oomph to the dialogue.
Was that the Mickey Mouse voice? Like, what the fuck just happened right there?
Oh my god! What's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen. Oh my! You know?
Yeah.
Oh my! Maybe. I mean,
that was a lot.
It looks a hell of a lot scarier, that's for sure. That's what one of those people said here in the chat. I don't really know. I mean, I'm excited though. Like I said, I was kind of like not sure about this going in. Of course, they didn't show shit in the teaser. That's kind of how it goes. But after seeing this, it brought me to be like curious and interested, and it actually looks like it's going to be a good adaptation. You know, I didn't hate the Aladdin version either. I know Sabrina hated it. I didn't hate it.
I literally.
But how do you replace Robin Williams? You can't.
Well, you don't. And it's not even just Robin Williams. It's everything. It's not just Will Smith. Like, the whole thing. It was
a lot different. It was a lot different.
Guy Ritchie. Didn't Guy Ritchie direct it?
Guy Ritchie did, yeah. He's doing the next one too, because Aladdin 2 is happening, so he's doing that. And it's gonna be its own kind of script. They're saying everybody's back. Will Smith's back. Ha! You know, he's back. Daddy loves you. He's back. So that's happening.
I wish it was tomorrow, because you'd be doing so many shots right now.
I know, right? We're not drinking tonight, so
this is like I don't know. Aladdin was so I had high hopes for it because, like I said, I loved it, and because of Guy Ritchie, and it just was not good. It was not good, and I
I'm
will
just
not change
saying,
my mind. And
it
I will
looks
not be
good to
watching
me.
the second one.
I'm ready to go under the sea. That's all I'm saying. Let's do this. And now it's time for our featured story of the night. Woo!
Oh,
All right, everybody. It's time for our featured story. So we're going to talk about Mandalorian now. So just, putting it out there. Spoiler alert, everybody. A little bit of spoiler alert because we're going to do a little deep dive here. Season 3 has been going now. We just got episode 3 aired on Wednesday. So now it's out there. So you probably had a chance to watch them now. If you haven't, then, maybe tune out, or maybe come back afterwards. We'll put little segments out later so you can see. But Mandalorian season 3, episode 3 is out, and now they're getting a deeper dive into what's happening here with a backstory. Now, it kind of happened like Last of Us, where there's a whole different like spin-off episode where we get to go into like a whole different world. Now, I gotta tell you right off the bat, without giving too much spoilers, that opening sequence where they're like flying down and there's that huge chase with the TIE fighters and shit, that shit was awesome. That shit was sick. And some of the maneuvers there, like where they're just like Bo-Katan is like, woo, and like moving the fucking wings like this shit and flying around upside down and like killing the thrusters and like falling, and then like the people are like, what the fuck is happening? And then they're shooting them. I think that was pretty cool. But I think a lot of the episode was pretty sick. Now the season in general, I think it moved a lot faster than I thought it was going to move so far. Without getting too spoilery, the whole Mandalore thing, I thought it was going to be a while till they got to Mandalore, and now we got the Mandalore like first episode. Like we're at Mandalore, right? Mandalorian. How about DeLorean, man? Yeah, DeLorean's fucking cool too. But yeah, they get there so fast, and then he gets R5 and from Amy Sudeikis, not Amy, not Sedaris. I'm just combining names now. They get R5, and then R5's like, what the fuck, man? Don't put me on this planet. And he's like, get out there and find out if this planet's breathable. And he sends the robot out. That shit was kind of funny. There's some fun moments. Little baby Yoda's kicking ass.
I have a question for you, dude. How many energy drinks have you had? Are you okay?
I'm drinking this fucking Rockstar right now. Everybody, Kruse Control tonight is brought to you by Rockstar.
Holy Christ, dude.
I am going nuts right now. It's been a long day. I've had so much coffee at work too on top of that. It's been a day. But the Mandalore stuff I think is really cool in the first 2 episodes. We haven't talked about this at all, so I'm going to dive into a little bit. The Mandalore stuff is sweet. I like that. Bo-Katan kicks ass. I'm happy they brought her back, and I love what they're doing with her. And I feel like the way they're going, it's either going to be Bo-Katan's going to, I think it's Bo-Katan. She's going to get like redemption, and she's going to become the king or the queen of Mandalore again. I think that's where they're going to go. I think people expect it to be Din, but I don't think it's going to be Din. I feel like it's going to be Bo-Katan, because it's like they've been really pushing like her heritage and like how they were in charge before and how the lore meant to her and her family and how she doesn't believe in it. And after episode 2, I feel like now she's starting to believe it a little bit more. And this involves, the mythosaur. So I think that because of the mythosaur, I think she's going to have a big change. And this episode showed that too, because she has not taken her mask off. And that could really change things a lot. Now, Sabrina, you saw this too. What do you think about the season so far? Are you excited about where it's going? Are you happy about it? Or do you think that, you're disappointed?
I love the first 2 episodes.
Rockstar.
This last, easy, buddy. This last episode was not my favorite, if I'm being honest. The beginning was super cool, as you described in such weird detail. Thank you. But the middle part, where it was the people who used to work for the Empire that are like being rehabilitated and working for the New Republic, like it was just so long and so weird and so like unnecessary, in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure obviously they're setting something up, but it just seemed like a really long setup for like these 2 characters who I could really give 2 fucks about. No, number 1. And number fucking 2, it's like, what is her move? Like, what's her angle? I don't understand. She's like weirdly flirty with the dude for a while.
Oh, that's weird.
Then and even like when they got busted, the fact that they like didn't even question her, like, so like, was it a sting? Was it like a setup sting situation? Or like, was she like, it didn't, honestly, I thought about it 8 ways to Sunday. Like it didn't make, the whole theory did not make sense to me. And then if she's recruiting people for Moff Gideon, which she probably is, like, I just don't understand like why she's so in with the New Republic and why they were so cool with her being there by the ships. Like the whole thing's weird.
I think it's interesting. Her name was Cain too. Her name was Cain. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's like a whole mythological thing with Cain and Abel too, because they come over there and you think that they're friends, and then all of a sudden, like she turns on him. So that
Her name
whole
should have
thing
been
too.
Cunt, not Cain. She was a horrible fucking person.
But Dr. Pershing,
and then
he was
she
in.
turns up his thing at the end. Like, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, none of it made sense to me. And it also seems stupid. And it was just, I don't know. I'm not thrilled about it. They're mind flaying him, by the way. Thank you, Netflix.
It's a little play on Stranger Things there.
Yeah. Mind flayer.
But Dr. Pershing, we saw him in episode 1. It was episode 1 of Mandalorian because he was the one that was
working
actually
on clones,
but he wanted Grogu. He was one that wanted Grogu, and then like they brought it's the same character, same actor, everything, and then he ended up going over to the Rebellion now, or the New Republic.
Like the whole like it just. The arc doesn't make sense to me. I'm sure they're going to explain it, but whether they explain it or not, there are still many questions I have about the way they went about it. And it's very characteristic of Mandalorian for me to have those type of questions. They're usually very good at mapping things out in a certain way so that you're not confused or like, what the fuck? And I feel like this episode was not that for me, unfortunately.
I think they're just trying to do a deeper dive, like the amnesty program. It's like they're trying to really get in to show that the people are, leaving the rebellion or leaving the empire and going to rebellion.
This
felt like an Andor episode. This felt like an Andor episode more than a Mandalorian episode.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it was like the longest episode so far this season too, and it like really dove into Dr. Pershing.
My problem lies not in the development of him, not in knowing what's going on, and not in Cunty's presence. But my problem is, like when
she was great in Ant-Man, by the way.
When they get him, you know what I mean? She was great in Ant-Man. Like when they get him and they arrest him, and he's going in for this treatment and shit, and he's trying to explain that she betrayed him. Like how is she so up on the pedestal where they're like, oh, she just like was like, oh, we're here at the ship, like come get us, but don't get me. Like just the way that they went about it was weird. Like she's obviously at the same level he is. They're wearing the same uniform. They have the same pin on. She touches that pin 35 fucking times. Like we get it. You have a pin. Like just stop with the pin. He has the same pin. So I don't understand how she is so in control where she gets this to happen. Like it just, I don't know. It was not my favorite. I did like at the end I guess I don't want to spoil too much, but like then they had like each end of the episode started with Mandalorian with Din Djarin. And then the middle was this like standalone type thing, So the standalone type thing irritated me. The front and the end of the episode did not, of this past episode. But overall, I am happy with the season. There's a lot more Baby Yoda, which gives me great joy. He is my favorite in the world. And Bo-Katan kicks some ass like a strong fucking bitch. She saved Mando twice.
When she saved Mando, it was awesome. Like twice. I mean, she twice. But the first time was great. Like, and the second time too. But the first time was really great. She came in there. There was that crab creature, and she was just like, "Fuck this crab creature! I'm going to save Mando." And Mando's in that cage. Honestly, it was really cool.
Yeah,
I was really excited about that. And when she came in though, like I had this picture right here. She's like comes with that freaking. She gets the darksaber too, and she just fucking whoops its ass.
Yeah, it's not heavy to her, which I think is so interesting because like that's
it's
Mando's
like it's meant
problem.
to be.
Like he can't, huh?
It's like Thor's hammer.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I feel like it's meant to because the whole thing too is like whoever has the darksaber is the person that's going to run the Mandalorian. It's going to be the leader of the Mandalorian.
It will be her.
And I think it's going to be her, and especially like I said, like she went into the waters with Mando and just to save him. So she was in a way reborn as well, like he was. And then she hasn't taken her helmet off, and they made a point of that too. And I think that's going to move forward. I think she's not going to take it off, and I think she's going to find a way of reconnecting with her past. And then eventually take over.
That they're going to go back to Mandalore.
Oh, they're going back to Mandalore for sure.
They'll get that. What do you call him? You call that little sea beast guy something? The turtle, giant turtle?
Mythosaur. Mythosaur.
Yeah. I think they're going to go there. They're going to get their land back, and then she will rule over her land again. I love
this city. The city was so cool, even though it was all bombed and shit. I loved how it looked underground. And the fact that he starts walking down the steps and just drops, I'm like, fuck.
I was like, no.
Spoiler alert.
Fine.
So if you watch it. But yeah, I really think that the Pershing thing is weird to me. I guess they're tying it in from the earlier on in the season. So ideally, you would think this has been planned from the beginning to bring Pershing in now. But the idea that they're talking about the cloning stuff, people are saying online this is all going to lead to the Snoke clones and the Palpatine cloning, and this is all going to tie into that. Like this is how it started. This is how the Empire. Well, they explain away like how Palpatine came back. So that's where this is going to lead towards. And then Pershing will eventually turn back to the dark side now and go towards the Empire because of the way she mind flayed him, you know? So, and that whole system was pretty messed up. Like, that seems pretty bad. The New Republic's like torturing people as it is. She's definitely part of
the dark side, like 100%.
Yeah, oh yeah, she's working for Moff Gideon still.
She's
for
100%. Sure. Like, but it just was, I don't know. Something did not sit right with me, honestly.
There was also like, you know, they had those popsicles at one point, like his was blue and hers was red.
Yeah.
And you know, so there's like little things like that. Everything she had that was like red all the time. They're like, oh, so is she dark side or what? You know, evil shit happening. And in her
red
weird
pill, blue pill.
Yeah, and her weird like back and forth with him was just odd, like just really just like weird flirtatious shit that didn't seem real, and then it wasn't real.
I was
so
like, what the fuck is going on here?
And I felt so bad for him too, because he just wants to do good. He wants to do good. He had this whole story about how his mother died from heart disease, and he could have saved her, and he had his technology.
She manipulated him into doing that so that she could fucking mind. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like this episode. I'm sorry. I'm not going to change my mind.
Yeah, but you're talking three. Yeah,
1 and 2 I liked very much. 3 not so much. The beginning and end I liked, but that middle there was just something.
This is the way,
right? It didn't make sense. It just I don't know. I wasn't into that side story of Kunti and Pershing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big divergence from the actual show, but it has to tie in somehow, I would think. But I don't know. Like, I've been liking the Mando stuff, the Mandalore stuff. I really like that dynamic where Grogu has to like get on the plane and go get Bo-Katan to come back and save him. It's pretty fucking awesome.
Dope too.
Like, he's in his little scooter, and he's like flying through his little scooter, and there's like beasts chasing him, and she's like,
oh no, I got
oh no, they're coming for me. Then he bitch slaps that one fucking guy with his hand. He's like, woof. This bitch slaps the guy across out of the cave. He's like, whatever.
Like a caveman.
Yeah.
He does this like.
Just whooped his ass.
When you can destroy the universe by doing this, you have to be calm and collected. So.
Jake, you're a fan. You're a fan of Mandalorian though too. Based, I know you haven't had a chance to see it yet, so I feel bad we're spoiling a little bit for you and probably some of our fans out there. But does this make you excited about? What do you think? They get the Mandalore really fast, and then they dive right into the story. It's pretty quick. What you've heard so far, are you excited about it or what?
Mm-hmm. I'm almost more curious about season. Like I'm almost more curious about the third episode than the other two, because it sounds like a contrast or like something happened. Like, what is this thing? There's a shift. And it's been so good and so consistent up to this point. There has to be a reason for it.
It's a setup, but I just don't feel like they fleshed it out properly.
It's a setup. Yeah, it's a huge setup.
Do you feel like the fourth one will help with that? Do you think?
I hope so.
Yeah, they almost have to. I'm excited. I've had it like, you pull the app up on your TV and it's like,
it's right there, ready to go.
Watch now, and I just haven't hit go because my wife and I watch it together. So I watched the first season without her, and then I waited for her to watch the whole first season. And then we watched the second one together. So I don't want to
plow through it, probably, right?
Yeah. So I don't want to start this one until she's ready to watch too. So
my question is though, did you watch the Book of Boba Fett?
I won't say anything. What?
Yeah. You watched the Book of Boba Fett. Okay, good. Because if you don't watch the Book of Boba Fett, you'd be pretty confused. Because honestly, a huge stuff. You miss a lot. I mean, there's like a lot of Grogu stuff that happens there and bringing them back together. So if you didn't watch the Book of Boba Fett, you'd be like, what the hell's happening? Because all of a sudden, little baby Yoda and him are together again, and it's just like out of nowhere. But the fact that's why they're so integral. They still tie in. But to me, I mean, I think they're doing a great job. I love little baby Yoda. He's so good in this shit though. He's kicking ass, and I just love like the scene where he's with I love when he's in the chair with Carl Weathers and he's just spinning himself around using the Force in the first episode. He's like he's just spinning himself around.
There is a lot more baby Yoda.
There's a lot of fun.
I'll take all the Grogu I can get.
Or even the ship,
the only thing that wears a tunic I would ever actually trust.
I trust the shit out of Baby Yoda. And when the ship, when Bo-Katan's like being chased and she like drops, he goes and he like closes his little pod and he tucks in. It's just too good. He's just too good. I really think that his first words are gonna be, "This is the way." And I feel like he tried to say it. I feel like he tried to say it in this last episode. He was like,
I love that.
you know, I'm like, it's close. I know what you're trying to say, Baby Yoda. And I'm waiting for it. He's already got his Mandalorian like armor underneath, you know. This is the way. I don't know how he's gonna talk, but you know, something like that, you know.
Say?
This is the way.
Yeah. Eat your peas.
But it's been a lot of fun. This, like we were saying, this episode's been a little bit of like outside, but you know, they still bookended it, you know, with Mando. And I feel like that it's just that whole plot has to mean something. They gave it a lot of time. They gave Pershing a lot of time. So he must be a bigger part, or Kane's a bigger part moving forward. I don't know, but the whole Kane thing, like, I wouldn't have trusted that bitch right away. Like, he just gets there and she's like, why don't we do something that's against the law? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? I'm like, because you got me biscuits? No. I mean, no, the biscuits don't matter. I'm not going to trust you.
And she ate a biscuit while she was like flaying his mind. Like, listen,
up.
Cunty.
Fucked up.
I see you.
Yeah, it's something, but yeah.
I don't know.
I think,
he
you
was
know,
an evil bitch the whole time. He knew she was doing something shady, but like just the way it came to fruition, it's just, I don't know. I don't know.
That is not the way.
I hope, no, it's definitely not. I hope that the next episode like fixes it, like Jake was saying.
Yeah, I think that we're going to be having a lot more Mando in the next one. And I think we're going to take a little sidebar from that whole story, but I think they will bleed back in probably another episode or so. But they're just putting some groundwork for something. And of course, we know that the next season 4 is already written. Jon Favreau put that out. They were season 4. They're ready to get going on that soon too. So I think that they have some kind of cohesive plot to maybe wrap this up. Maybe it'll go. I feel like they're not going to keep going forever for this. I just don't think they will. They're really setting it up. And I think I see where it's going, especially with the whole like going back to Mandalore and getting back to their roots. I think eventually they will get back there, and the Mythosaur will be a big part moving forward, I think. So yeah, it's exciting. I know people are like back and forth about it right now, and it hasn't had as high as ratings as they used to have, because some people were confused because they didn't watch Book of Boba Fett. But you know, honestly, give it time. I think this is already off to a good start for myself, and I think it's going to only get better. That's what I'm saying. But anyways, everybody, Jake, thanks for being here tonight. We appreciate you as always.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for bearing with our spoiler-heavy Mythosaurus type Mandalorian talk.
That's fine. I will watch it and enjoy it just as much as I would have anyway. So
you're probably super confused because of the Rockstar I was drinking. I'm just spouting shit off. You're like, what the hell is Brian saying? I have no idea.
You're on a 10, bro. You are on a 10.
I've seen you like this before. It doesn't bother me at all.
No, it doesn't bother. It doesn't bother anyone. It's just a lot. Like
it's
you're like,
you just gotta pay attention. You gotta get
into it. You're into it.
Yeah.
Sabrina, thank you for being here. The lovely Miss Sabrina Vittoria, all the way from Florida. Michigan, that's not right. Florida, California, that's not right. Florida, United States. I don't know why I want to say Florida. That's whatever. Anyways, everybody, thank you for being here. We appreciate you as always.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
Caffeine. Please like and subscribe. Join our Patreon if you can. We appreciate you always for being here. On a 13, that's what I'm saying. Thank you all. Have a great night. And we'll be back tomorrow for our St. Patty's Day edition of Kruse Control. That's right. Green beer time, everybody. Have a good night. See you soon, and see ya!